They told us we'd be there for an hour, and then we were there. Well, I already told you we were there for like 2.5 hours.
Why did it take so long?
Well, that's what I can't work out, because when you've had your car service, you know what a service is. You're not going there to fix a problem. They're there just to check it over.
Mm.
It's like an MOT, but it's not an MOT. They're just... And we told them about 2 problems there were, which were it keeps... Do you remember when you drove our car? You don't put the key in. It senses the keys there. 9 times out of 10, when we close the door and one of us goes to get out of it, if the other one's still in the car with the key, so if the person getting out of the car isn't taking the key, it tells you the key's not in the car and beeps for like 10 seconds.
Right.
So we told them that, and we told them that the radio keeps cutting out more than it did. Has your car got a digital radio?
No, it's not DAB one now.
I don't know. I don't really listen to radio, so I don't know if you do know this or not, but DAB tends to cut out more when it's changing between.
Okay.
But it's doing it all the time. We told them about them 2 issues. Neither of them 2 got fixed. So in the 2.5 hours, as far as I know, all that happened in the 2.5 hours that we sat there is that they made a phone call to check what to do about this tyre, which wasn't safe to drive on, but they told us to drive off and take it to Quick Fit.
It's mental.
So all that happened in that 2.5 hours was making that phone call and pretending to clean it.
Pretending. I'm assuming they didn't.
Well, it was cleaner than it was when we left it to them, but it weren't. You would have thought they would have sexually pleasured the thing, because they took long enough doing it, and that was only that first 2.5 hours. Then when I spoke to you, we were on the way to Quick Fit.
Yeah.
And we got there at about what time was it? Probably about 2:30.
Mm.
And they told us we could leave it with them, but we could see they were busy. They weren't making it up. They were busy.
Yeah.
He said they'd be able to get it done today, but it'd be like right near the end of the day, and they close at 6.
Because changing a tyre shouldn't take long. Like when we had ours done, it took like half an hour. But obviously that was because we dropped off like first thing. Obviously, like you say, if they've got stuff there that they're doing.
Yeah, before we even went in there, we said you could see it was busy. We weren't making it up. They were pretty. But we dropped off at like 2:30, and we were waiting for a phone call. And we obviously didn't have the car, and we went to the Quick Fit. You know, the one by the gyratory.
Where's that?
That's Sainsbury's near Bear Road.
Oh yeah.
And there's that Quick Fit, and there's a big BP garage around there.
Yeah.
Because we dropped it off there at 2:30, and we just said, okay, if it takes 2 or 3 hours, then we'll just have a walk around. We walked around London Road, done some shopping. Still didn't have a phone call by like 5:45, and by that time we got back there and sat down, and we could see it jacked up, being changed there and then.
Right.
So basically, it was until closing time. We didn't get it back till like 6.
They literally must have done it at literally last thing. Like,
yeah, because like you said, I've changed car tyres on the roadside by jacking it up. It takes like less than 5 minutes to change it.
Yeah. It's just getting the nuts off in it and then putting the tyre on.
Well, I suppose although they were changing the tyre, not the actual wheel, so maybe that takes a bit longer. Have you ever changed a tyre? As in,
no, I never have. But it shouldn't take long, because like I say, when we did it, we dropped off our car, and they did it while we waited. It was like 20 minutes.
I'm not going into a bakery or a butcher's asking to change my tyre. It's fucking Quick Fit.
Yeah, I suppose you're lucky they had the tyre there, because some places wouldn't have had it.
Well, that was the problem. Kia didn't have it. That's why they can do it there.
Right.
But the amount of time we spent there, you'd think they had changed it.
Yeah. And also, they must have noticed that. Like, when did they tell you that?
Tell us what?
About the tyre?
We were there for about 2.5 hours. We probably found out about the tyre after about an hour and 45 minutes.
Do you think that would be one of the first things they check? Is the tyres?
It's hard to explain it, to visualise it really. But we'd never noticed it. But when they pointed it out, you could quite clearly see. But what had happened is, on the on the left passenger side tyre,
yeah,
there was like a perfect ring going around not the wheel, nothing to do with the alloy, just the tyre.
Yeah.
There was a perfect ring, and parallel is not the right word, because parallel is a straight line, but you know what I mean. It was perfect distance from the wheel all the way around. It was a perfect circle,
right?
And it was a gouge, probably a good nearly centimetre deep in the tyre,
right?
And he's saying, "Oh, well, where you park it, do you notice it's scraping? Does it because because it was a perfect ring all the way around it? You'd think someone would come in. I'm not saying this did happen, but it looked like it had been done in one session. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Because it was a perfect ring. It wasn't like it had been gradually chipped away. I've got no idea what happened. But then when Becca
Thing
asked,
is, it can cause anything can cause it, can't it? Like,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? It
well,
doesn't take a lot.
when I said it weren't me because I'm not the one driving, that didn't go down well.
I fucking that is such a Louis thing to say. That really is fucking Louis thing to say. That's like hard. It's like when we had ours done because we had one that was like kept getting flat for ages. Like it would go down so quick. We'd have to pump it up like every week, and then all of a sudden it just blew, just went, and there was a massive like hole in it in the top of the tire. And it's the thing is with cars and that it's just so like I don't know. It's one of them things. I always say like the best sort of career to get into is being a fucking mechanic because they're the ones that you see you need the most because you think you go to if you've got a car you go to them every year, sometimes multiple times a year. Like how often do you call an electrician or a plumber out? Like once every few years. But a mechanic you go to like every year. It's mad that like and the amount of faith that you put into them. Like that's why it's good to find a garage that you fucking trust.
And that's what cracked me up by the end of it. It was only that front left tyre that was damaged, yeah. Because the car was under Motability, we didn't have to pay for it. It's covered. There's like a leasing scheme, and it's covered. It all happens between Motability and Quick Fit.
Yeah.
It was nothing to do with us. So, in that sort of situation, what normally happens is cut out the middleman, as in me. I'm not the middleman anymore. It just happens between Quick Fit and Motability, yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll send a quote out. So because of that, they decided to change 2 of the tyres.
Of course they did.
Because
They did.
I was approaching the car with Becca, and I said, when I say approaching the car, this was from the side, not the front, so I could see the 2 passenger side tyres. And I said to her, I went, did they change all 4 of the tyres? And she got round to her side by this point, and she's looking at it, she's like, no, these ones aren't new. But the 2 that were on my side were both identical.
Thing is,
and you could see they were new. And I said to her, I was like, and I looked at 2 tyres on my side. They both got this same yellow ring going around the tyre track. They look brand new. They both say Pirelli.
Right.
I walk around the other side, 2 tyres looking old and worn, both saying Continental on them.
Yeah. Thing is, like, you'd think that they would just change all 4 of them then if they can do 2 of them.
That's
if one of them didn't need changing, just do all 4. Because then, like, probably next year, no, because tyres should last you a few years, but you'd think you would just do, if you're going to do half the car, do the rest of it.
If they're going to be claiming the money back for it anyway, because that's easy money for them. They know that they're not waiting for someone like me to pay them. It's going to come straight from.
And that's like cleaning the back seats but leaving the front. Like if you're doing it, you might as well do it all. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. But I suppose, like you say, because the money's not coming from you, because it's coming from somewhere else, they don't give a shit, do they?
Yeah,
they don't care.
I'd rather have it work to my benefit. Give me 4 new tyres. Do you know what I mean?
It does seem mad.
When I saw the headline about the bloke being jailed for blocking the toilets, that's not quite what I thought they meant by blocking the toilets, to be honest.
What did you think?
Well, I thought he was going to be blocking it with big fucking shits.
But he's like, because I read some of it, he's like, he says that, I needed to, I was getting weird urges, and he was like, to like stick like plastic bottles and stuff down there. I mean, to be fair though, I know, because some of the guys that I work with at the school.
Do they get weird urges too?
No, not them. But they've worked there for a long time. I mean, obviously one of them was there when we were there at school, and he said like some of the stuff.
Which one's that?
Neil, you know Neil.
Oh yeah, I know Neil. Me and him were chatting at the wedding.
Yeah. He was. He started not long before we left, so he was there in like our last year. Because I remember going off topic a little bit. I remember because my tutor group used to be. Do you remember the old textiles bit? So you had the old DT bit, but then you had the bit next to it, joined by that little corridor, which was the textiles bit. Yeah. It's like 2 or 3 rooms. My tutor was down there, and they were building new toilets next to it. And there was this big, massive, like 2 wooden panels that they put up to stop people going into the toilet. I remember we wrote, like me and the boys in my tutor group, like wrote all over it. We were just writing like each other's mum's names and all this sort of stupid shit. Like we covered the whole thing. And then it wasn't until I started working there that Neil was like, "That was you fucking bastard." because he had to go and sort it out. But no, he was saying like some of the stuff they used to find in the toilets was like grim. Like, and it was always be the girls' toilets were the worst. Like boys' toilets you'd get a little bit of vandalism, but girls' toilets you'd get what did he say they'd do? They'd put stuff down the toilet, so they block it up with like food, and they shit on top of that, so it's completely blocked. Like they put their lunch.
The girls' toilets.
Yeah, they put their lunch down it and shit on it. At one point, I think they smeared shit all over like the walls and stuff.
Oh my god!
Because one of the guys went in there and you could hear him like heaving where it was that bad.
I can't imagine that because I change enough shitty nappies every day and I'm normally fine. You're used to it, but there's even that occasion where my beloved little boy does a particularly smelly one that'll make you.
It's the smell, isn't it? It always gets you. Like that's what gets you. It's like sort of dog shit. That's what gets you. Is the smell.
That's the thing though, and I'll emphasise this to any of our listeners now. I don't in the slightest enjoy the smell of baby shit, but it's like perfume compared to some of the adult shit I've smelled in my life.
Yeah, it's grim.
And even worse so, that's the whole point of it going into water in the toilet when it's out of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's grim.
It was by complete coincidence. It was this morning I was changing him and didn't smell too good, and I could feel myself. I was alright until that probably 1 in 100 scenario happens where you get that little bit on your finger, and I saw it, and I was like,
oh yeah, it's sometimes it really fucking gets you.
So that's better than shit smeared in the walls for girls' toilets. I don't want to know what they've done with tampons and whatnot. That'll probably make.
No, I don't. I think they use sanitary towels on the wall and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is grim. And also I think once they set fire to the toilets because apparently I think, what did they say? The girls were spending too much time in there using the mirrors. So they took the mirrors away. So they wrote a message on the wall to say, give us back our mirrors or else. So they didn't give back the mirrors, so they set fire to the toilet.
It's a hostage negotiation.
Pretty much. So they set fire to the toilet. Like, some of the shit, well, no pun intended, some of the shit that is ridiculous. Like, I mean, yeah, it is grim. But like you say, in the boys' toilets, you don't really get stuff. You get a bit of vandalism. Like, you know. But that's what they always say at school. Like, girls can be a lot worse. Like, because boys are idiots, but girls can be very, like, on a different level.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think that's what can happen with girls sometimes. Is that sort of shit takes you by surprise. I need to stop using the word shit because it's not all about shit. But that sort of stuff takes you by surprise. I mean, like you said, boys will be idiots, but boys are readable.
Yeah,
you know they're going to be idiots.
Yeah, boys are very. You can sort of tell how they're going to act and what, like, because we always say it, like, boys, if they fall out, boys will fight each other, and then that will pretty much be it. Whereas girls will, like, it's 100 times worse because it's like all the bitchiness and all that shit kicks in.
Yeah, and boys, I love it. And I'm not even a person who's aggressive. I'm not the sort of person that's been going to get loads of fights in my life. But you said it'll happen between boys. It escalates. It's done. That's the end of it.
Mm.
It can't happen between two. And I'm not talking about women here. I'm talking about a school environment.
Yeah.
It can't. I remember this vividly. Nothing could happen between two girls at school arguing without that boy, then that person, then that person getting dragged into it, and it was like, oh.
Yeah. It's like, always just blows it up.
Could you just leave me out of this and go and wipe shit all over the wall or something?
Which they probably went and did.
Yeah.
So
that's probably what they were arguing about.
Probably. It was so funny. The other day, I can't remember when it was, Wednesday, Thursday. I was sat in the office at work, and I could. These kids came down the corridor. Now they're not meant to come down our corridor because basically, if anyone that doesn't know, I work at school and I'm a caretaker. So down our corridor we have like all our stuff down there, and they shouldn't be coming down our corridor. But they came down. This kid was, I think it was this boy, was like crying, and these girls came down with him, and it was so funny because it made me think of being at school because it was like this girl was going to him. Look, if you just like this girl, you just need to man up and just go and tell her. And he's like, no, and he's like crying to himself and like it was just that typical like end of the world fucking shit. It's so funny, and also it's so funny as well when you see him going into lessons because all the girls, it makes you laugh because the girls all hug each other and they're like, oh I love you, see you later. And it's like you're literally going into a lesson for a fucking hour. Like it's so funny seeing it now. But obviously that's when you're a kid.
You would have been part of that when you were at school as
That's
well.
what I mean. When you're a kid, you've got no idea, have you? You think it's the
You know what?
fucking be and end all.
We're not talking about secondary school here, but me and Becca earlier were having the exact same conversation. Because we had to pick Jax up at half 5, but we had a bit of extra time because we normally pick Logan up at half 5 from after school club. But today is that special day of the year. It's his end of year school disco.
Right.
Yeah,
Fucking hell, I remember those.
yeah, I'll bet you do.
Jesus
And
Christ.
me and Becca were talking about them, and we were reminiscing really. And I say reminiscing. We didn't meet until we were in our 20s, but it's the same across all schools. And she was saying, yeah, I'll be that one that was standing on the side. Then you'd always get that dickhead run across and do a knee slide across the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, primary school discos were. Yeah, they were something else. They were like.
I remember my trademark when I was a little one, and I haven't tried to do this in years. Maybe I should try it. We'll do a video of it and try and stick it up and see how entertaining it is. But I remember at the school discos, my trademark was trying to be Scotty Too Hotty doing the worm, and that's. Do you know what? It's only just clicked right here and right now. That's probably why I've now got epilepsy, because
Maybe.
I don't think I was very good at it.
I think there's always those kids that think they can dance as well. Like there's one that we know that always thought he was a great dancer. I won't say his name.
Oh, I know
exactly. I think you know who I'm talking about. But
just start with R.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know.
Yeah, there's always that one kid that thinks he's like an amazing dancer, and
I remember seeing this particular amazing dancer that we're talking about. I was thinking, please don't trip over because you're gonna take my eye out.
Yeah.
And that weren't with his hands.
Yeah, no, he's but there's always that one kiddie. But yeah, primary school discos were fucking. I think I remember because you do one when you leave school, don't you? But then that sort of thing, you never. Although they have started doing that at secondary schools now, that sort of thing, which is weird because I think the kids are older, so I'm surprised the kids don't turn up pissed.
Yeah, especially when they're letting them have like one drink token.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's that sort of thing. You don't see that sort of thing.
It ties into what we were saying actually, it wasn't last week, so we had to skip last week. But I think it was the last one we done when we were speaking about the voting they were doing at school.
Oh, yeah.
It ties into all that. You can just picture it, a prom king and a prom queen.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember the award thing that we had when we left secondary school?
Briefly, yeah.
And do you remember a certain person called Sid the Sloth? And do you remember he got voted
most likely to win an Oscar?
Yeah, and he went up so smug because he didn't fucking realise why everyone had voted for him, and it wasn't until he got on the stage that he then fucking realised.
Yeah,
I've never laughed so fucking hard at that in my life.
Oh, that's brilliant! Yeah. If some of you listeners may know what we're talking about, some of you won't, but someone who had the nickname Sid the Sloth because of his facial appearance, should we say?
Yeah.
It makes us sound like bullies, but there's less deserved people. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, most likely to win an Oscar. He didn't realise he was getting voted most likely to win an Oscar because he could have been on Ice Age, not because he was fucking Leonardo.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny.
Leonardo DiCaprio, he was not.
No, he wasn't. That was I'll never forget that.
And do you know what upset me most about that? That was that moment. I remember exactly the moment you're talking about. That was one of the things that lifted the mood of the day for me. But the thing that upset me the most is that I wasn't the one voted most likely to become a millionaire because I was the only one who monopolised the coke industry there.
You did very well. You did very well. I remember that. I remember at one point I owed someone because I never had money on me, so I always had to borrow money to buy coke. And at one point, I think I owed someone like a $5 in arrears for coke. And when we say coke, we're not talking about the stuff you shove up your nose. It was cans. We weren't that advanced. Well, some of us probably were.
Our school weren't that.
But yeah, no, you did very well on that. Because didn't they try and search your locker at one point, but you didn't in your brother's locker?
Yeah. So what happened is they had.
So do you want to explain what you used to do?
So what I basically used to do is I used to take in between 18 and 24 cans of Coke a day, which I'd put in the fridge the night before, and I'd take them in. This all sounds comical now, but it worked.
And you got them from like wholesale places, didn't you?
I was getting them from wholesale places like 20, 25p a can, like as cheap as I could get them, and then selling them for 50p a can. But my forte was that unlike other dickheads trying to sell cans of Pepsi for 49p, I'm not going to name anyone, but
I forgot about that.
unlike certain dickheads trying to sell Pepsi for 49p, lukewarm.
Just quickly, while you mentioned that, him, right? Again, we won't say any names because we both know who we're talking about. We at one point we got him sacked from a job when he was at school. Have I told you that?
No.
We were sat, so me and this other kiddie, right? We were sat in the maths classroom, and he used to sit in front of us, and we would chat to him and stuff. And then we got hold of his phone, and it's really bad. And we phoned off his boss because he used to work down at do you remember Westo's down in Hove? He used to work down there, and we phoned up his boss, and I can't remember what we said, but we said a load of shit to him, and he phoned him back, and he answered, and he was like, "Yeah, don't bother coming back to work." It was so bad. But anyway, yeah, carry on. So yeah,
So yeah, what I'd do is I'd put them in the fridge the night before, have a nice ice cold. I'd take them in the cool bag with the ice pack. So that was kind of my forte. I'd sell you. You could come to me 50p, get a nice cold can of Coke, refresh you throughout your day, probably get you in a better mood for your studies, and help develop your future. Yeah.
I hope I hope that you said that to people. I hope that was your like.
Of course it was.
You remind me of someone like in the old west trying to sell fucking snake oil. That's
Yeah.
just spouting absolute bullshit.
But anyway, I saw it as a positive. Like you can, someone wants a can of Coke, they want a can of Coke. They're more likely to calm down having a can of Coke, and they're going to be in a better mood throughout their day, and they're more likely to just sit down and do your
Well, and
fucking
also
stupid algebra.
that's when also the school used to sell, because now they don't sell that sort of shit, but they used to sell that anyway. But obviously they were just buying it off you.
This is it. This is after I remember because I remember you. Oh, I remember how pissed off I was the day I walked in and realised I couldn't buy a bottle of Dr Pepper.
Mm.
Yeah, they were sad days.
Yeah,
But I'd go in, sell my nice cold cans of Coke. The school didn't see it that way. They didn't see me as doing them a favour because what I would say to what was his name, Mr Davis. He was the one who was always pulling me out on it, and he'd sneak up behind me, and you'd think he was a nonce because he was coming up behind me, even though he was shorter than me, he came up behind me, and I'd suddenly feel my bag lift out of nowhere because he's feeling how heavy it was, and I'm in bed, I'm thinking your hand's a bit close to my arse, mate, but never mind. But what I ended up doing, I'd argue with him and say, "Ain't being funny. People come in with a box of cigarettes that big and make more money in a day than I do."
exactly.
God, I think you need to get your priorities right, but. Anyway, what ended up happening is they were saying they had to search my locker, and of course there was that one occasion where they searched my locker and they saw cans in there, and they can't take them off me and confiscate them forever. I took them home and still to keep them, but my beloved brother, who didn't really fit in that institution, shall we say, had gone to a different school, but he'd never given back his locker key, and he's like, "Here, give me a fiver, you can have my old locker key, it's still there." And I was like, "All right," I took it off him. I was like, "I'll give you the fiver after I know it still fucking opens." Open it up, and the beauty of it was, and I don't know if you ever saw this. What two people I know who will remember this will be Josh Yalassi and Tom Somerville because they live right near me, and they both were the two that used to help me carry him into
As I say,
school.
they used to carry him in.
They carry my spare
Yeah.
cans because 24 cans will do your back in one bag
Yeah.
eventually. The beauty of it was literally there was my locker up here, and then 2 down, 2 along diagonal was literally his locker.
It's so funny.
And I just remember how smug I felt. Like this teacher would come to me and be like, "You ain't got any cans of Coke in your bag, have you, Louis?" I'd be like, "Nah, of course I wouldn't, sir. I wouldn't be doing that." He's like, "Can I look in your locker then?" I was like, "Of course you can. I'm not doing that anymore." And I just feel so smug knowing there were like 20 nice cold cans of Coke there, thinking,
Right
you can't get me, you short son of a bitch.
So funny.
You can't touch me." So I seriously felt like I was a made man. I felt like I was like one of Ferrelli or Moroni's men or something. Like, I felt like a crime boss.
Like you were saying, people were selling fags and that anyway, making loads more money. So
That's what we say to us. I was like, people come in with a box of fags that they can fit in one pocket and you'd never find.
Yeah.
They're making more money than I am, and you're getting pissed off about a can of Coke.
Because you're making, what, 20, 25p on a can of Coke?
Yeah, what? Are you fucking member of the British Dentist Union or something? Like, fuck off.
It is funny.
They want to rot their teeth, well, give me 50p for it. That's up to them.
Thing is, I wonder how they found out that you were selling them. Do you reckon someone snitched?
I reckon it might have been a certain little snitch that probably couldn't sell cans of Pepsi 49p and lost his job
Right.
at some point. Yeah, probably that one.
Maybe. Yeah, that's funny as shit. That is. Fucking hell.
Oh, brilliant.
Did you see that one about the footballer talking about shit? This is a very shit related podcast. I mean, it sort of fits in with the name, but did you see that there's a footballer who unwittingly shared a shit picture with his fans on Twitter? So this is
I don't see how anyone could ever share a picture to the wrong. How could you do that?
Well, because I think from what I saw, I think it was a case of because I'm a bit confused. I read the article. It was like he posted basically he'd been let go by he played for a non-league team, York City, and he'd been let go, and he got an email to say like his P45 was attached. But then I think underneath it, because he must have obviously taken a screenshot of it, it had his other pictures, and it was like a lot like 6 pictures in is like a toilet bowl with a load of shit in it. Like, and he posted that on Twitter, and then he just basically had to deny it. And he just said he can confirm that the shit isn't his. Like,
it's just like a police investigation or something.
fuck those. Like,
I suppose it's called, and then my shit.
it's like that's so weird. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because surely before you post something on Twitter, like if I'm taking a screenshot of something, I always check to make sure it's just a screenshot that I post. I don't post anything else. Not that there's anything else to post, but like you don't want to put in other shit on there.
So I know that from personal experience. People can be so reckless sending photos, can't they?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
We wouldn't tell anyone about that though, because that'd be a bit of a dick move.
Yeah, that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't imagine. Thing is, that'd be one of them things as well. You probably wouldn't notice until people start pointing out to you, because I don't think you'd realise that. And then you imagine saying, "Oh, by the way, you've just posted a picture of a toilet bowl with a load of shit in it," and you'd be like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
we all know it's the 21st century. Pictures of that sort of stuff do get sent round. It happens even in a comical context sometimes. And if that's me, and I was him, and I'd sent that reply about my P45, and then there was that picture of a nice piece of shit 6 thumbnails in, I'd probably hold my hands up and be like, "Yeah, all right, you caught me. I was trying to creep my girlfriend out and sent a picture of a nice big shit. It's shit, mate. We all go for shits. You're not a mutant. You're not part of the X-Men who's like shitlops, who's the only person who has excrement come out their asshole. We all do it. Well, I do. I don't know about you, but
no, I do. I go regularly.
No, I don't. I've never really tinkered with posting them on Twitter, but you never know. But hold your hands up to it, mate.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to own it at the end of the day. You've just got to just go, yeah, like, I fucked up.
Because maybe it's not his shit, but either own up to it and say, yeah, okay, it's a bit embarrassing, but I did post a picture of my shit, or say, do you know what? In all honesty, it ain't my shit. It was shared in a group chat between me and my fucking shit friends, or whatever. However that came to be in your phone, it's in your phone. It didn't come there of no accord.
No, exactly. I mean, it's only a bit of shit, like.
Yeah, it's a thumbnail picture of a piece of shit. It's not a 2.5 kilo block of coke.
To be fair, he said, I'd love to take credit for it, but unfortunately, I got it in a group chat. Mine are more like rabbit droppings. Thing is, what's funny is he'll probably now get more publicity from that, and he'll probably, because he's a non-league player, he'll get picked up by a team now probably because of that.
Yeah, he should be signed by Man City.
Because they're just shit. But yeah, he'll get probably picked up now because of that, that's even funnier to me.
Like, shit football, I'll just commercialise on him.
Well, exactly. Yeah. But talking of shit,
just out of curiosity, which club's sponsored by Dettol?
By what's the toilet tissue brand? Andrex, isn't it?
Yeah, Andrex or Dettol.
He could get a sponsorship with them. You never know. That's the sort of weird world that we fucking live in. But talking of shit, there's one other thing that I'd like to talk about, because I think this is.
We're going with this shit thing.
Well, okay, this isn't related to shit, but it's a shit tattoo. So, and as in not in tattoo of shit, but like a bad tattoo. So this woman, she's been labelled the meal deal queen, got a
Is that something that someone like her is that something she's proud of?
Well, apparently so, because she's not only is she called the meal deal queen, but she's now got the meal deal that she gets from Tesco's tattooed on her leg because she said it changed her life.
Wow.
Do you know how much money she spent? So it tells you in the article how much money she spent over. So what did she say? Over the last 2 years, she spent £2,190 on Tesco's meal deals.
Do you know what? I'd seen the caption for that article, and I hadn't actually clicked on it or viewed any of it yet, but I knew about it because you'd obviously put it up on the thing, and my first thought was, what kind of twat's going to do that? And I've just seen the picture of her kissing her.
Yeah,
Was it some fried chicken
yeah.
wrap? I think.
That's
Oh,
that's
hang on.
that's
Kind
what
of twat.
that's what annoys me though, because she says, oh yeah. So I was expecting it to be something like, it's literally just a chicken wrap, cheese and onion crisp, and a bottle of Lucozade. Like, really? That's so fucking boring. Like, I don't know. I just think, like,
Right.
and then
If
she's got a picture
anybody,
of the meal deal next to her tattoo. Oh, for fuck's sake!
if anybody, if anybody listening to this is a Tesco's representative who has the scope to make these sort of decisions, please discontinue that wrap.
Oh, that'd be so funny if they just stopped doing it.
Yeah. She looks like, oh, I was gonna say she looked like a
Oh,
twat.
Tesco's. They reached out to her and sent her a box full of goodies.
They sent her a box full of goodies.
Yeah.
this is what you.
But she said, I appreciate it, of course, but they could have at least sent me a meal deal.
I was about to say, what did they send her? Like a.
So they didn't send her a meal deal. But she's moaning because she said they could have sent me a meal deal or a £10 voucher to buy a few.
Oh my god.
Honestly, there's about 3 pictures of her fucking with a meal, like with an actual meal deal, posing with it.
Is that middle photo? I've seen the three you're talking about. Is that middle one where she's got her leg, and either side she's got the wrap in one hand and her other hand like ta-da.
That's so funny. And people say that the government controls the media. Can you imagine them putting this shit out? Fucking hell. That's so funny. Fucking meal deal tattoo. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine a more of a waste of money? Because that tattoo as well won't be cheap because it's properly coloured in. I mean, it doesn't. It looks all right. I mean, you couldn't tell it was a Tesco's meal deal from the actual thing, but it looks all right. But that would have taken some time and it would have cost a bit.
I'm curious as to whether Tesco's have funded this tattoo.
They might have done. This might be all a publicity stunt.
Buy 600 mil, get a tattoo free. Is that a
Thing is,
deal?
what I love as well is that she, in the article, she says that she used to shop around for meal deals. So she went to Tesco, to Sainsbury's, then to Morrison's, then to M&S, then a bunch of other places.
She used to shop around for meal deals,
but nothing ever hit the spot.
She does live life on the edge, doesn't she?
And then it says, then I went to Tesco and had that one, and it blew my mind. Fucking hell!
Wow.
How low a standard has she got? If a Tesco's meal deal, a chicken fucking wrap, is blowing her mind. Fuck's sake.
I mean, come on, at least push the boat out a bit and go. I'd still be skeptical, but I'd maybe be a bit more sympathetic if she was telling me like a Quiznos blew her mind or a Subway.
Yeah, exactly.
Tesco's meal deal.
That's so funny.
Some wrap with manky browning lettuce, chlorinated chicken, and genetically modified mayonnaise in it.
And also just some crisps and a fucking drink. Like, how boring. It's not even like she's making it out like it's some like 5-star meal. I mean, maybe it is too early. Fuck knows. But yeah,
actually, that was too funny. Look at the photo there. It looks like that might be the case.
It could be. It could well be. But
if you're gonna toot their horn so much, then give us a bit more detail here. Tell us what. I mean, does she stick with certain crisps and drink every day, or does she shake them up a little bit? I mean,
does she go wrap, crisp drink? Does she go crisp drink wrap? What does she do? Like, we need this needs more media coverage.
Do you know what? I'm scanning the article now, and I'm just expecting to read something fucking stupid at the end of it. Like, I don't even like the wrap. I just like the crisp. I just like the crisp and the drink. But you can see she's a twat anyway. So
yeah, she's loving it. She is loving it, and that's that's McDonald's, but that's not even Tesco's.
Yeah. I'd rather live in my sad, pathetic little excuse for life than be famous for being the meal deal queen.
Thing is, do you know what makes me want to do is never buy a Tesco's meal deal again.
No.
That's what it makes me want to do. Just go, no.
I'm not going to buy one. If I see it, I mean, obviously I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat chicken wraps anyway. But that's not the point. I see one, I'll be like, no, fuck your meal deals because of this stupid bitch.
Yeah, that's what you want to do, but that's not what you can't do, because me and you, Joshua, both know that the first time you found that meal deal, it blew your
It
mind.
blew my fucking mind. I will say their pasta meal deals changed my world. I'm a different man after I had one of their pasta ones one time. Their tomato and basil pasta. Like, I came out of it a different person, and then I went in.
Yeah.
You know, it was just crazy. But
Yeah, no, it was their chicken Caesar done it for me. It was that blew their mind. But to be fair, that's the first wrap I've ever had that's had explosives in it. So
some people take drugs to find their true self. I go Tesco's and get their pasta meal deal. So
yeah, another one. We kind of went from talking about literal shit to this meal deal shit. Now we'll move away from the sort of shit vibes. Another funny one that cracked me up. Did you see one of the ones that I chucked up about the kind gentleman who was very grateful for the care he received from some nurses at hospital?
yeah,
And he right, there's a gentleman and he so I'll read the headline out for it first. So it's nurses off their face after granddad accidentally gives them cannabis cake. So what's basically happened here is apparently this gentleman didn't realise it was cannabis cake. I don't know how he came to be in possession of it, but by fellow members of staff, these nurses have been
it says
quoted.
here he took it from his grandson's 18th birthday party.
I missed that bit. Nurses reportedly quote off their faces
Fucking hell.
after a nice old man handed them cake laced with cannabis as a thank you present. I'm in the wrong game. Maybe I should go into nursing, because if that's what, yeah. Do you know, another thing that cracked me up about it as well was at the end, the same colleague who was, this is a very short article, but the same colleague who was quoted saying they were off their faces said they were also pretty high.
But it's also like they were feeling relaxed. But my favourite thing about this is when you read, so it's got it at the top and at the bottom. The bottom bit is the case has now been closed because the cake has been destroyed. I've never read a more ridiculous fucking headline.
See, I read that as well, and I read that, and there's as soon as I read that line, there was like a little montage in my head that happened in the click of a finger, and I could see two different scenarios happening. There were two tangents. I was either seeing a big conglomerate of massive, scary government agents with the bomb disposal squad going in. But it's a bit like is it in? I think it might be in Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. I was just about to say that when they get the sock and they put the thing over it and blow it. Yeah,
they put it. I'm kind of picturing a scenario like that. They chuck this big metal cage on it. They bolt it to the ground. They blow it up. I'm picturing some big sort of scary government agent scenario like that, where they say sorry, what was the word you used? The cake's been destroyed.
Destroyed, yeah.
Now, that was the one scenario I went with. Now, the one that I hope they meant when they said the cake has been destroyed, I'm picturing 4 nurses sitting there, off their faces in the staff room with cake all over their fucking faces, because that's what I hope they meant by destroyed.
Or I'm hoping some SWAT team just like busted in the window, just grab the cake and just launch it out the window to destroy it. Fucking ridiculous. Like, it's so funny though. But the thing is, if you read it from the top part, from underneath the headline, it says the headline, and it says police, and then in quotes destroyed the red velvet. It sounds like they fucking took it themselves. It's like police destroyed the red velvet sponge cake. Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh, Gav, yeah, sorry, I looked down for that beer on Friday. I have a bit of cake though.